gentlemen, this is Christelle Martinette, and I'm in an unusual place here. I'm in Mauer Park in, I was going to say Brooklyn, in Berlin. For those of you who've been to Berlin, you know where Mauer Park is. And it's maybe 3 p.m. in the afternoon here, Central European time, and it's gray, but it's fairly mild. I have a very, very light down jacket. And I'm going to start with Aries. Aries, as I mix these VERA SIBILLA cards, I'm using VERA SIBILLA cards and the runes today. What do I see for you for the new moon from the 16th to the 21st? From the 16th to the 21st, what do I see? I'm seeing that you have all of a sudden become fairly calm, and everything, even the most difficult of stress, is just business as usual, and everything has its place in your world these days, and you seem to be fairly calm. You know, this is the word that comes to me, calmer than most periods. Let's see what these three cards have to say. Okay, here I have the viaggio, the trip. I have Costanza, Constance, and the peacock, the superbia, pride, vanity. What I'm seeing you, okay, there are people, there are Aries that are traveling, okay, and it's a very successful travel, successful trip, and it serves, for those of you who are physically traveling, that period serves you to come back into your own, to feel that you're once again, oh my goodness, I'm me again. And there will be traveling, physical traveling in the upcoming weeks. And for those of you who don't travel, what I'm seeing is that you're moving away from an egocentrical period that has characterized you in the recent weeks, I would say. I'm going to take the runes. Can't cast them. I'm going to pull up a few to see what. Okay, what do I have? Well, I've got Kinox Merkstave, and Rido. Again, the travel. I see that it is a period of travel, but the traveling that the runes are talking to you about, Aries, is the kind of travel that doesn't take planes or trains or cars to enact. It's traveling at a mind level, different dimensions. And you're going to be discovering this period, things about your soul that you have yet to learn. I hope that was of help to you, Aries. Let's go on to Taurus. Taurus, what am I seeing for you, Taurus? Taurus, I'm seeing that, boy, you have a lot of work, and the work that you have to do is not the most, not the best kind of work that you would like to do. You would prefer doing other kinds of work. But having said that, you know that there's an expression in Italian, chi fa l'amore, chi non lavora non fa l'amore. If you don't work, you don't make love. So you're very happy about being busy in that sense. You have the taste. I see you in front of an exquisite chalice of wine, a very good glass of wine. And this means to me that there is love in the heart, and also that there's enjoyment and exchange. You're sharing your love with someone. Let's take a look at the VERA SIBILLA cards, what they have to say. Well, we've got here something coming up that is unforeseen. All right, we have Belvedere, something coming into you from the future, luck, and the Giovane Fanciulla, which is our Virgin of the deck. And then the last card I have here is, forgive me for this, mumbling around and handling these cards improperly, but then I have this thief, ladro, and what it tells me is that what's coming into you for you is something not unforeseen or unexpected, something that you are expecting. However, it's coming in rather quickly, there is something, there's a positive and a negative side to what is coming in. First of all, it's something new. It's something that sees you having to make decisions where you're out of your range a little bit. It's going to take effort on your part to prepare. Say you've been called, you put in an application and you're called suddenly when you least expect it, and they're going to give you a test and you're not ready for it. So that's what I'm seeing, that kind of thing. That kind of, not burden, but something that you have to prepare for. Interesting. Let's take a look at the runes now. Let's take a look at the runes for you, Taurus. I've got these 3 have wanted to come out. All right, beautiful. All right, the first I have here is Fehu Merkstave. Now, Fehu Merkstave, then Thurisats Merkstave, and Ingvats. Now, what do they tell me all together? First of all, you're not supposed to be looking at the financial side of an offer. You're not supposed to be looking at, not so much looking at what it would mean for you financially, but rather what it could offer you in the future, and the fact that it's going to bring you to do something you're not usually, that you don't usually do and that you don't usually care to do, but that will make you very successful if you're able to do it. I hope that was of help to you, Taurus. Now let's go on to Gemini. Gemini, what have we got for you, Gemini? You hear those dogs, and there's a pool of dogs. There's a circle of people with about 7 different, 8 dogs that are running after each other. Gemini, what do I have here for you? I literally have autumn leaves that have already fallen, Gemini, that have already fallen, and that have passed you by. It's a time that everything, autumn has passed you by, and you weren't aware of it so far. You lost your chance in the autumn of your life. This is what I'm saying, what I'm hearing, which is an odd message for me to hear, but let's see if I can get something else for you, Gemini. The autumn is a warning, right? The autumn in your life means that there was a warning. So winter is coming upon you, and which means that you're going to receive something, you too, like Taurus, something unexpected, but not necessarily negative. It's just that you haven't been prepared for it. It is a positive, a bit of news that's coming in. It has something to do with work as well. Let's take a look at what the Sibilla can say to you, Gemini. Okay, I have interesting people here. I have Deliranti, the delirious people, the love card, Amore, and the conversation, Conversazione. Now, this means that something coming in without any warning is going to make for some anxiety, which will see you, Gemini, in a whirlwind of contacts with other people who you're hoping can ultimately help you. Now, in terms of love and in terms of unexpectedness, I do see that there's a very low percentage of you, I'm not even seeing 10%, that are where your client, I was almost going to say customer, your client, no, I didn't mean that, I mean your companion is going to surprise you with negatively saying, you know, I think we need a change. I think we need a change. Or, I think it's time for us to have a child that you're not expecting, you're not wanting, and you're not desiring. So that is for a very minute few of you. I'm seeing 8-9%. Let me see the runes for you and see what they have to say to add, Gemini. Here 2-3 have come out. Okay, I have Lagas, bright stave, which means that nonetheless, even though that is a period of unexpected news that you're not expecting, not necessarily negative, here I have Manat's bright stave and Awat's bright stave. So everything to do with a couple, with the unexpected, that 8-9%, where you'll receive unexpected news that you're not caring for, you're protected. You can work it out, negotiate with that partner, and that will not cause a breakup where there's room for negotiation. Now, with respect to Lagos, in both cases, whether it is pertains to work or pertains to emotional relations, you are in like flint. You're protected. Now let's go to Cancer. Cancer, what am I seeing for you, Cancer? I'm seeing there's a good amount of time that you're alone, and you're not unhappy about that. You're quite happy. Let me tune in just a second. I'm seeing more like hearing that it's time for you to get a companion. But not necessarily a person. I feel that, Cancer, there's a lot of thought about getting a pet, a domestic animal. I'm hearing dogs, you know, not only because I'm hearing the dogs, but I'm hearing, you know, a canine for you as a companion. But there are a number of you who are considering pairing up again, those of you who don't have a companion now. There are those of you, Cancer friends, that are not inclined to accept the thoughts that you do hear, that you do feel. You're trying to avoid it. You're trying to avoid either looking for a partner or accepting suggestions from people you have been going out with that you should pair up more permanently. All right, let's take a look at the cards for you, Cancer. Yes, you know, there is a lot of, all right, here we have Belvedere, which would be a bright future, militare, the military. And this is the sospiri, the sighing, and I'm hearing that your nature of holding things within is going to serve you well, because in a moment of ambiguity in relation to what you want to do, pairing up or not with someone, this silence, this moment of looking inward is going to serve you well, because the longer you wait, the more it will work to your favor. That's what I'm getting. Let's take a look at the runes that come out for you, Cancer. I've got here Lagos Brightstave, Fehu Merkstave, and Rido Merkstave, and they are really echoing the same thing. Lagos tells me that no matter what happens, the closer you are with your cards to your vest, the better it will be. And Feho Merkstave and Rido Merkstave tell me just stay put. Even though it's a moment, you know, if you have people around you who are wanting you to invest or become partners in crime at a business level, hold off a bit. Hold off a bit, because it's the time now that you need to stay put and stick to your guns, Cancer. Now let's go to Leo. Leo, let me see what's in store for you, Leo. Leo, I'm seeing you floating on a riverbed, going down the river, close to the riverbed, on a raft, but it's very, very, very slow, and almost as if that you can, with your feet, you're able to slow it up or speed it up. You're on your belly and you're using your feet as a rudder. And it's interesting this, because you're not using your eyes or your arms. You're not watching. You're just imagining floating down. And there's a lot of imagination going on, Leo. There's a lot of what if? What if I were to do this? What if I were to do that? You're weighing different options in this period. Let's see what these cards come up and tell you. Okay, well, interesting. The interesting pair. Trio, actually. I have the nemico, the male enemy. I have the lover, the love, and sospiri, the sighing. And there are a number of you, Leo, who have, generally, you do have a third party in your relationship. For those who are have a relationship, a companionship, that it's finally coming to a point where there's a standoff. Okay, it's either him or me. It's either her or me. None of this pussyfooting around. Let's get to, let's cover our bases, dot our I's, and cross our T's. Do we go forward or do we go backward? Or do we just stop right here? Okay, this is what you're going to be thinking with a partner. And it all is around love these days. And for those of you who have been in a relationship for a very long time, you're going to start questioning what has gone on, what has happened to this relationship. Has it all been good? Has it all been bad? Weighing the pros and the cons, but not being in a mood to split up. Let's it's just a matter of weighing things, thinking over your life in review, your relationship in review, Leo. Let's see what these runes come out like. All right, nice. All right, I have Ingvats and Suilo. This is a very, very particular time, the 16th to the 21st, this new moon. It would be very suitable for you if you could start a new project, a new creative project, because it is bound to become successful, especially if it starts in these days. Good for you, Leo. I love to get that good news. Now let's go to Virgo. Virgo, I've got rainfall here. I've got like a shower of rain in the mountains. A sort of waterfall that's not a very thick and robust and noisy. It's like a shower, but it's embedded in a waterfall. It's a waterfall, and at the bottom of the waterfall, I see cactus plants, cacti, I guess you would call it, cactus plants, and which is sort of a sort of doesn't jive. It seems like a contradiction in terms, because cactus plants, and we call them fat plants in Italy. In Italian, grasse, piante grasse, they live off of the fat of their plant. But they doesn't go, because they don't take much water. But I see that you're needy. You're very needy in terms of emotions. You need to process emotions. It seems that those of you who have experienced grief or going through grief, and those of you who have lost a companion, separation or other, there is a moment where you need to let go and need to actually cry. Turn on the movie, turn on a tearjerker movie and get it out, because it's working against you. Let's see what these Sibilla cards say. Virgo, I have here the militare, the military, the malinconia, and the nemica, the female enemy. Very clear. Couldn't be clearer than this. Holding things in is not going to work in your favor, Leo. Sorry, Virgo. It's not going to work in your favor. You need to process either the grief, the loss, the sadness, whatever form of sadness you have experienced of late. Virgo, let's take a look at these runes. I have here, okay, I've got Tyr and its Merkstave. Let's talk about that. But there's Rido here and Awats. And when Awats comes around, it's always a matter of being protected in your movement forward, I'm seeing. Now, it is not. Tyr Merkstave is telling us, no, it's not the best of your days, all right? But Rido's telling you, why not accept a change of scenery? Think of a place you can go, a channel that you can turn to, changing channels literally, and try to change your scenery in order for you to start thinking differently, because you actually need a change, Virgo. I hope this was of help to you. Let's go now. Oh, okay, now let's get to Libra. Libra, what am I seeing for you? Libra, I'm seeing that you are sitting and thinking. I see you smoking a cigar, and your eyes are looking at the smoke from the cigar. Could be a hookah, could be a cigar, could be a pipe, could be anything. But I'm seeing you misty, looking into smoke. And smoke is rather symbolic for um, things that are not very clear, things that make you, that remind you of the past, things that you haven't understood from the past. And that's what you're considering. Sitting on a bench, considering that, and looking for some signs or some clues to something that you may not have understood during that time when these things occurred. Now let's take a look at the Sibilla cards. I'm seeing, okay, we've got some interesting cards here. We've got the Pietre Preziose, the gifts. We have Casa, the house, and Malinconia, the melancholy here. And, you know, thinking of the times that were. Thinking of a time when you may have been in another place, literally and figurative, may have been part of a family who's no longer there. And this could take so many forms. It could take the form of a very close-knit family that you no longer have, or extended family that you no longer have, or that you're no longer a part of. So there is, you know, that park bench where you're sitting smoking and thinking of the past, with a tear in your eye. There, it has to do with something from a time when you were with other people that you considered your family. Okay, I'm going to take the runes now and see what they have to say. Libra, let's see. Okay, Libra, I have Awat's Merkstave, and I have Yera. Now, it's these runes are telling you it would behoove you to, in fact, to indeed think of those times, because it's through the thoughts, turning back through those thoughts, that you will, and it's not going to be sudden, it's not going to play out in these days. This is just the beginning. You're planting the seeds in that reverie, in that turning back, but it will take more time for you to fully understand what has happened. It could, like I said, it could take many different shades here. It could take the shade of, you may have been been part of a family that you separated and went your merry way, and you're thinking about why, what happened. Someone who may have left you, or there were friends who no longer are part of your inner circle of friends, and you wonder why. There are many, many things that it could play out as, but it does signal that it will take more time than this immediate period of the new moon. I hope this was of help to you. Libra, let's go on to Scorpio. Scorpio, what am I seeing for you, Scorpio? I see you on a bicycle. I see you on a bicycle, and it's not that, you know, it's not, it's later on in the day than midday. It could be about right before sundown, or an early sundown. It could be 5 p.m. There is a light already on the bicycle, so you know, you're in a period of day when you need the light, and it's not necessarily you could do without it, but you have the light on. So you're going places. You're going places, and you want to see clearly where you are going. These are probably seeds that you have planted in the past. Could be. Let's see. Okay, I've got here denari, safe money, institutions, casa, house, delirante. Now, you know, there are many of you, Scorpio, who have had not so recent, but fairly recent changes on the job front that you are not very happy with, and they have destabilized your day in and day out organization, may even have caused you to change occupations, may even have caused you to have to sell your home or property, or may even have had to cause you to sell one of your pieces of property to enable you to help you, get through the upcoming period. But this also plays out differently. That and it does talk about a separation here from someone with whom you've had a long-standing relationship, even though you may have been separated long ago. But in your mind, around this period, you're putting an end to it for those of you who this resonates with. But definitely there is a serious change for you, and it's causing you, for those where it plays out with work, it's causing you to make changes, material changes. And for those that it has to do with leaving a person behind, it's going to cause you to have other people enter your world or look for other people. Let's see, Scorpio, what the runes have to say to you. Oh, nice, nice. Okay, I have Pedro, Bright Stave, Thurisats, Bright Stave, Awats. Okay, they're saying to me, look, Scorpio, these are changes that you have always wanted, either directly or indirectly. So remember that. Don't be sad, sad. And it's almost as if you yourself have caused them. Now, on the workplace, you may have done something unwittingly to have caused that, but underneath it all, these runes are telling me that you were the architect behind the scene, or you were the puppeteer behind the scenes. But look, Awats is telling you, let it go, because you seem to be protected in your insight as to how things will develop. Hope this was of help to you, Scorpio. Now let's go on to Sagittarius. Sagittarius. I see you have a big belly. Isn't that funny? Okay, for those of you who have gained weight, this could be. For those of you who have been eating too much, for those of you who have not been digesting your food properly, and for those who are in your 7th, 8th, 9th month of pregnancy, I see there is a growth in the stomach area. Now this also talks about chakra points. Okay, we're in the 2nd chakra, and that is everything to do with trusting your gut feelings and trying to see whether your insight may help you in what is going on around you. Don't let things that are bothering you remain unsolved. This is what I'm getting. Let's take a look at these Sibilla cards. All right, I got here the Pietre Preziose, the gifts, the Virgin of the deck, La Giovane Fanciulla, and the Domestico, the house domestic. And this is interesting because I'm seeing these are telling me that you're planning to change. All right, you're planning to change your residences, and not necessarily by your own accord. You haven't planned on that, but a deal comes in. Somebody offers you a place, or you catch wind of a house being being emptied, and you may have the opportunity to go there. And this is something completely out of your range, mental range. You haven't thought of that before at all. Really haven't thought about that at all, Sagittarius, and so you're going to have to think about it. Let me see what the runes have to say, because there's the change that also talks. When it's a change that looks like a residence, it means the change of who your tribe is, what your tribe means to you. Change in terms of who your friends are, changing the nature of your friends as well, who becomes your friend, and finding new friends. Okay. Oh, how interesting. All right, I've got Manats, Bright Stave, Hagalas, and the Nameless Faceless Room. Weird. Here they're telling me that you need to find close, very close friends that you can truly rely on, but that you choose, not that they just come into your circle of friends from elsewhere, from someone else. No, this is something you really do feel the need to find someone close, to confide in somebody that you can turn to even in a moment when you just want to go out and have a beer, when you just want to go and shoot the breeze, okay? Because it will help you, it will reflect to you a certain, it'll be a reflection of yourself. I hope this was of help, Sagittarius, until we read together again. Okay, let's now think about Capricorn. Capricorn, Capricorn. There are chimneys, chimneys that are smoking, and everyone's looking up. You are looking up, and you're seeing white smoke. And it reminds me of, you know, how they change popes in Italy. When there's a new pope to be elected, the smoke comes out, and when it's white, I think it means that they finally reached an agreement. And so the new pope is here, you know. There is a new, and it happens once in a long time. There's an expression in Italian, when one pope dies, you just find another one. So this to you, in relation to you, Capricorn, it may seem to me, and it does seem to me, that there's a new person in your life. Or you are trying to have a new person in your life. You're actually seeking a new person for you in your life. And it's not because of dissatisfaction with your current situation, but curiosity, meeting someone new, enriching yourself, you know, becoming enriched with the new friendship that may blossom into something else. That white smoke also is always a positive sign, because it means something new. It's a new energy that comes in. Let's take a look at the cards for you, Capricorn. Okay, I have here Denari, the safe, the institutions, and Gran Consolazione, one of the best cards in the deck, great consolation, and then Mercante, the merchant. Look, these talk about money, 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 money. And Capricorn, it seems to me that you're in the money. I mean, that's, if I, you know, I have to be the first one to say you're in the money. But I also see here a certain amount of silence with respect to that money, a certain amount of silence with respect to your livelihood and your business. It's as if you're not wanting to tell people around you that you're living with, or your close relations and friends, what you're actually up to or what kind of work you're doing. You don't want anyone to know. But it's going to benefit you greatly, whatever you're doing, this new kind of activity, or whatever is you're surrounding yourself with in terms of money-making deals. It is going to work in your favor, Capricorn. Let me see the runes for you, Capricorn. See what they have to add. Ah, yeah. Okay. You're not seeing it. This is Kinat's Merkstave. You're not being able to see it. But this is a Gifo here. There's going to, I think I've been saying to you that there's a loved one, there's someone you know who's going to invest in some idea that you had. There is a return here on an investment that you are not expecting. I do hope this pertains to you and it resonates with you. And I would like to hear about that when it does come in. Let me know. Okay, let's go on to Aquarius. Aquarius, what am I seeing for you, Aquarians, for this new moon period? The color red. I'm seeing red, and all shades of red. And it's as if you're sitting thinking about the different forms of love and how emotions have not only a one-way mode of being felt, and you're very emotionally charged in this period. And it could take this type of processing, you know, this type of, it may play out this way. You become very emotional about seeing old friends. You become very emotional when you hear news about relations to you, very close relations to you. There is a high, your emotions run very, very high, but not always are they directed to you in the same way and directed outward from you in the same intensity. So, but it is a very high emotional, intensive period for you, this new moon period. Let me see what these cards are telling you, going to add to that. I've got here the mercante, the merchant, the old lady, vecchia signora, who speaks to change, and the conversazione here. Look, I'm seeing that there is going to be a very positive change for you. A very positive change for you in your plans, your profession, your proposals, your projects. They're going to go well, but you have other people involved. They go even better. They have a greater chance of success, a greater success rate when you involve other people in them. I'm going to take the runes for you, Aquarius, and see what they have to add. I'm freezing my butt off here. Okay, I have Fehu. Fehu, that was Merkstave. Tyr, that is Merkstave. And Yera. This is telling me that the winds of fortune, in terms of how your plans and projects take off or get off the ground, are not going to be in this immediate moment, but will be further on down the line. It will take this is when you start thinking about them, when you start planting seeds, but it's going to be after this period when they start taking off. Good. Now let's see what I have for, let's see, Pisces. Let's see, Pisces. Pisces. There's a boat. There's a very, very large boat, Pisces. And it's like a yacht, a huge luxury boat where you have all of your friends and the best people, your most favorite people on the boat with you, and your closest of friends, and I have to say your closest of enemies. There's an expression in Italian, well, no, even in English, you keep your your friends close, but your enemies even closer. And that's what your boat looks like, because you have this boat afloat. And it's a mixture of calm waters and rough waters, but between the friends and the enemies, you're able to have a very, very, very clear, balanced view of how to go forward. Interesting for me. It looks to me as if there is high level of maturity in this period of the new moon. Hang on, let me think. Now, high level of maturity, Pisces. I have the viaggio, trip, movement, the prison, prigione, prisoner, and the giovane fanciulla, the Virgin of the deck. Now, that metaphor, the vision of the yacht with the friends and enemies, is something that you need to come to terms with. You need to, it will help you break free of the difficulties that you're facing if you can use that balanced view in order to make decisions. And I'm talking about in very important decisions for your emotional life, and very important decisions for your professional and livelihood, your professional life and your livelihood. Let me take the runes now. I've got here Keenat's Bright Stave and Tyr Merkstave. It's always come out Merkstave Tyr this round for the new moon readings. And what does it say? You're not able to see a curved ball coming at you. And what this means is that the closer you keep your enemies to you, side by side to your friends, will really help you get a very clear view of where you should be going and the changes you need to enact, Pisces. I do hope this was of help to all of you. Namaste, ladies and gentlemen, until we read together again, and have a wonderful new moon period. And thank you all of my old subscribers, and thank you all to my new subscribers. Welcome until we read together again. Bye-bye.